Hello and welcome to the Filmspeak podcast. My name is Dave.
My name's Amanda,
And I'm Adam.
and this is our weekly conversation about movies.
And then we have that.
So, how was everyone's week?
It was good. I watched two movies in addition to the other one. I watched Nebraska, which I'd never seen before.
Is that black and white movie?
It is, yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't really know what to expect going into it because I hadn't really heard much about it other than it was black and white and really good. And it was both of those things. So, but yeah, it was fun. The actress who played the mother in it was
June Squibb.
June Squibb. Yes,
She's a saint.
she was great, and probably a saint.
That's a really, really cute old lady, right?
Yeah.
Was she the grandma in Girls?
She was. That was like the other thing.
Cool.
I recognize her. I think season 4?
I think so, because she was only in it for like 2 episodes.
Yeah, it was
maybe.
right after that movie came out, too.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Lena Dunham saw Nebraska.
Yeah, probably.
Be my grandma.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
She was amazing in it. She just the stories that she would tell about everybody in their old town, just always trying to get in her pants and things
Yeah.
like that.
It's really good. Like, great. Like, sort of coming of age, but in like a completely different aspect of life than you really ever get.
Yeah.
Like, just old, weird, fucking Midwestern people, you know?
Yeah, and you never really like when you see old people like that, you don't ever really think like, oh man, that person usually got hit on a lot when she was younger or anything like that. You just kind of write it off, and it kind of humanizes it a little bit to just be like, oh wow, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to see like Will Forte sort of be serious before
Yeah.
watching like 2 seasons of Last Man on Earth, where he's like the most ridiculous person of all time.
Or on Tim and Eric stuff.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, it's fun to see him like be serious. You know, it was good.
I haven't seen it, but I do remember it being up for like a bunch of awards, and that was really like the only
Yeah.
thing that I had heard about it. But I
Bruce
should-
Dern is really good in it.
Yeah,
also.
he's great.
And like the goofy ass cousins. Do you remember?
Oh
Those
yes,
guys
yeah,
are great, too.
they were funny too.
Yeah.
what else did you watch?
The other movie that I watched was I rewatched Raising Arizona, which was it was good. I saw it when I was younger, and I didn't really understand the humor in it too much. But
Yeah.
or I don't know, it wasn't really I didn't understand the humor in it. I guess I was preoccupied with other things or whatever. It wasn't really something that I enjoyed. But then I rewatched it later on and liked it, and then I rewatched it recently this week.
Have you ever seen that?
No, I
Oh, that
haven't.
movie's
Yeah, it's
so fucking.
It's
good.
really funny. John Goodman, the noises that he and Nicolas Cage make when they're fighting in that scene. It's a ridiculous slapsticky fight scene anyway, but just like John Goodman, just these guttural belly like ah, and Nicolas Cage like ah, and they're just like fighting each other and spinning each other around. It's really funny. But yeah, the movie itself is great too. So
Yeah, I need to watch that again soon. My girlfriend's never seen it.
you should remedy that.
What about you, Fridley?
I've watched like a ton of things so far. Like at least in February, like 16 movies.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, I took the lead in my letterbox challenge, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Yeah, we went to like the beach this weekend, so it was a lot of time, a lot of downtime, and a lot of hour-and-a-half horror movies in my life that weekend. So,
Nothing
That's
wrong
cool.
with that.
but yeah, the beach was cool. Went to the arcade. That was dope.
What did you play?
All kind of dumb shit. Mostly just like straight up gambling games, like trying to win
Oh yeah.
token games, but
Did you play Bad Dudes?
no. They don't have a ton of like great arcade games like I really wish
Yeah.
they did. There are some that have like good collections there. Actually, like the hotel building that we stay at has like the Simpsons game.
Oh
and, like
yeah.
the OG like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
The 4-player ones. Yeah, those are great. And the
Those
X-Men
are
one.
awesome, and those are free, which is also awesome.
Oh, that makes it even better.
Yeah, but like the Boardwalk, we went to probably the lesser of 3 arcades,
Mhm.
but it was the closest one to where we were.
Did you play skee ball?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at it.
Get some tickets?
Got tons of tickets.
This is
Um,
Ocean City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still haven't been there. I need to go.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a weird place for sure.
Yeah, don't go there for the beach. Go
It's
there
fun.
Oh, no.
It's fun, like in the off season though, because there are a lot of like, you can ask other people who literally like work in a bar you're at or something like, where's like the hot spot to eat right now?
Yeah.
Because like they're all there in the off season and they know where to go for like the lunch and all that shit.
Right.
So that was cool, and you know the weather was like pretty nice for February, but yeah.
Yeah, I've heard not to go to like for the beach. I also grew up in a beach town that was like voted #1 beach in the country more than once. So I'm like,
with its sugar white sands.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's Orioles spring training baseball.
Yes.
Shout out to Sarasota, I
And
guess.
Orioles.
6 days pitchers and catchers report.
Woo!
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about like the beach that's always like really cool to me, and especially like in the off season when it's like creepy and weird, and like all I ever think about is how I want to like shoot a horror movie there.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, one day.
My friend Lena is she studies photography, and she also, I mean, like she filmed that video that's on our YouTube channel for us, and
June Squibb's granddaughter.
she's not Lena Dunham. She's way cooler and a way better person than Lena Dunham. But
Wow, judgy.
I'm not judging. Lena Dunham is kind of hot trash, even though I watch girls. But anyway.
Kind of hot, keyword.
Ew. Come on. I'm just saying, any woman who hasn't had an abortion who says that she wished she like has had an abortion before is like not okay, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She also molested her little sister and got away with it, but that's fine.
Girl, season 6 Sunday.
It starts on Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
And Walking Dead.
Final season.
Oh my god. I'm totally gonna watch it. Okay. But anyway, yeah, my friend Lena, who, if I didn't establish this before, is not Lena Dunham. She studies photography, and she did our Filmspeak video that's on YouTube. She wants to shoot a horror movie, and we've been talking about it for a few months now.
Nice.
And I really want to be a part of it, because I think it'd be so fun.
Let me know if you need a trident-wielding madman.
Okay.
Because
That'd be cool.
I got a trident.
Trident gum.
Yeah. I really hope,
Just
I
done
want to
with
be
my
in
awful
it.
puns.
I want to be in it, and I want to die. That's all I know.
Yeah, same.
But
Have you guys ever seen Wes Craven's Cursed
No.
from 2005?
is that with Christina Ricci?
Christina Ricci, Joshua Jackson,
Oh, I love
Jesse
him.
Eisenberg, Judy Greer, Portia de Rossi. Maya is in it for a scene or two, which is weird.
Wow. I'm gonna add this to my list.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's definitely worth checking out now because I feel like the scope of horror is so different now
Right.
than it was where it was sort of non-existent in like the mid-2000s. Literally 2005 was when this movie came out. But it's fun to go back and watch that, especially if you're a fan of Scream or any of the other stuff that Kevin Williamson has done, which is like Dawson's Creek or fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer or whatever. This is like the second to last time Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson worked together. So yeah, the writing is like pretty fun, and like I feel like that guy is like he's like a master sort of crafting like the worlds that they live in to like sort of make them believable, which isn't really a word that like a lot of people would use for Cursed, but it's basically like a vampire movie set in LA like around like a specific time, so it's pretty cool. Nick Offerman is also in it, which is weird. He has like a cameo as a cop. I mean, not really a cameo because he was probably like a nobody then, but like he's in it as a cop. And the guy Derek Mears, who was like Jason in the remake,
Oh, cool.
plays a werewolf, which is also a cool little bit of information. But yeah, it's pretty good. I can recommend it. I'll say that. You should definitely watch it. You would love it.
I probably will. I like that cast.
I also watched the original My Bloody Valentine, which is like a 1981 Canadian slasher classic. But I've actually owned the DVD of that for probably 7 or 8 years, and never realized that there's 2 versions of the film.
There's a remake of it.
No. This is like an uncut version.
Oh, really?
So there's like more fucking shit put back into it that's like awesome. There's like a note from the director in the beginning talking about how like this version is like a love letter to their like special effects team, and like,
there's also the remake though.
there's
too.
a remake too. That was from like 2009
Right.
I think, and that's good. That is probably like, well, it's not the remake's not good, but like it's interesting, you know. And it definitely was like the first and probably like what was an attempt to re-release or remake like a bunch of old slasher movies in 3D, you know, and like the 3D with that was pretty interesting. And I don't know, it's worth watching. But the original is like really fucking awesome. Basically, like this guy is like working in the mines, and like the town is like getting ready to celebrate Valentine's Day, which they're all like super excited about, which is weird. But they like leave some workers in the mines, like the guys who are watching the mines that day, to go to the party. And of course, like something happens, and these people get like trapped in the mine, and like they find the one dude, and he's become a cannibal. He's like eating other people to survive and shit, and like he basically says like, if you guys ever celebrate Valentine's Day in this town again, like I'll come back and exact revenge. And that's what he does. He's like putting people's hearts in fucking little like candy heart boxes and shit.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool movie. You should see it. Have you ever seen the original?
I have not. Waxworks did the soundtrack, and it's really awesome. Shout out to Waxworks.
Yeah, that's a really fun, fucking brutal slasher movie. And the third one I wanted to just shout out, or I want to talk about a little bit, is House.
Oh, yeah.
Not House 2, but
Ding Dong, you're dead.
Yeah, Ding Dong, you're dead. That movie's cool. It's it's directed by Steve Miner, who made like the second and third Friday the 13th movies.
Was George Wendt in that one or the second one?
He's in the second one.
Okay.
The first one is William Catt, who's like the blonde dude from Carrie.
Okay.
A little older, and his neighbor is it Norm from Cheers? Is
yeah,
like
that's
the big guy?
Greg George Wendt.
Oh, okay. Then then that's, I didn't realize that was his name. There's a different cast in the sequel.
Okay.
And I thought maybe he was like the guy in the house, like, you know, in the house in the sequel.
I've seen one of them, and it's the one with Norm.
Yeah, that one's good. It's pretty weird because it's like about a guy who is like a former Vietnam vet. You know, he is like a Vietnam vet who's like written like a popular like Stephen King type horror book, but like hasn't worked since then. This was like 3 or 4 years ago. Basically, like keeps just running into like walls in his mind creatively. Like he can't get over like his creative hump. He wants to write a book about Vietnam. The whole thing is like he's in this house. He like moves into this house for a period of time to like try and get some clarity, and then the house immediately just starts like mocking him, sort of, and like these like monster creatures are just like showing up out of like the darkness, basically. And I don't know, it's pretty cool. A lot of like fun creature stuff in that, but it's pretty goofy, and it's weird to see a horror movie that's like cut with like real like war shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's cheap in that movie, but, like, it's interesting. But it's written by Fred Decker, who wrote The Monster Squad, which is cool. And also, it's, like, written by Fred Decker, who wrote Night of the Creeps. And, like, the second one of these, I guess, which I haven't seen yet. But he wrote Monster Squad with Shane Black. And he's also writing the new Predator movie that, like, Shane Black is directing.
Oh, that's
Which
cool.
I think is pretty cool, because that guy hasn't worked in a while. But yeah, some other shout-outs. Disturbing Behavior. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
Ooh,
Is that the one with Katie? I saw it on your letterbox. Is that the one with Katie Holmes?
Oh, yeah. And,
Nice.
like, James Marsden and Nick Stahl was, like, almost, he's in, like, Carnival and shit. He was, like, almost a pretty, like, teen celeb, but, like, never quite got there. Terminator 3, it's kind of got, like, weird. You'll see. You'll recognize him.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I was thinking of Steve Zahn instead of Nick Stahl.
No.
I was like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, Witchery, Ghost House, Metamorphosis, Beyond Darkness, The Curse, The Dwarf That Dripped Blood, Slaughter High, Final Girls, and Chuck Russell's The Blob. I just all want to give a shout out to.
Have
Dude,
you ever
Final
seen the
Girls?
original? Oh, God.
Final Girls is like, that was like such a good movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's really good. You know the whole thing behind that? How, like,
Yeah, how wasn't his dad, like the writer's dad, like the priest in The Exorcist?
Yeah, or something like that. And, like, he had been in, like, a handful of other horror movies, too.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is that, like...
And the dad passed away, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like...
It's like a love letter to his dad.
Yeah.
Which is sort of cool.
It was really cool, and like a very big part of that movie was how like the main girl was interacting with her mom again after the
Yeah.
mom died, so that was like kind of like an intense part of it. But I really loved that movie. It was like it was like a really perfect mix of like horror and comedy.
Yeah,
Plus,
it's
like,
fun,
that whole-
like, deconstruction of the genre, really. Like Cabin in the Woods was, too, but this is a little more, like, specific, and I think it's cool.
And that kind of had that whole like kind of Scream-ish thing with like the whole formulated slasher film where they like knew exactly what was gonna happen and when and everything. So
oh yeah, and the fucking Thomas Middleditch character who's like me is just like, and they're like, oh my god, this is when like the dude gets his head cut off.
Yeah,
it's so good. Like that movie's really funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
Clever.
Well, I watched a couple movies. I haven't been able to watch as many movies as I have been the past couple months because I started school again.
Yeah.
But the movies that I'm about to mention are all ones that I've seen before. I rewatched Wet Hot American Summer. Nice. And really, what can I say about that movie? It's a perfect movie, in my opinion. I love it so much. I kind of want to rewatch the Netflix miniseries, just because. But it's so good.
Great.
Yeah, the soundtrack to it is so entertaining. Oh, man, I love it.
Craig Wedren is really good. He's one of those guys that like a lot of people don't really think about. It used to be in Shudder to Think. I don't know if they're still together or anything like that, but
I think he just does solo music.
Yeah, I think so too. But he, I think, went to college with the guys from the state, and then they all kind of still they use him, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
that, you know, and he's a good dude too. I've met him. He's nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. I also rewatched the movie Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. And have either of you seen it?
No.
Have you?
No, it's been sitting on my shelf for fucking 5 years. Probably.
You gotta watch it. It is so good.
Yeah, I bought it when it came out.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it since it came out, and it came out in like 2011, so it has been quite a bit. But I liked it a lot more. I feel like I just like regained the appreciation for it. It's a really, really good portrayal of like this woman's like mental destruction pretty much after leaving a cult.
Oh, it's leaving. I thought it was like entering a
well
cult.
it shows both sides. Like it shows, you know, how she is after leaving. It starts with her just initially leaving, and then like her like mental state after leaving, because she like goes and stays with her sister, and her sister is Sarah Paulson, and that was like before I feel like she really blew up, so that was cool to see. And then it has like flashbacks to like the stuff, like her joining the cult and everything. It was really cool because I feel like most movies that have anything to do with cults or like even TV shows have this like larger than life leader, and it's like this like really batshit crazy thing. But a lot of this like really fucked up shit that happens is like shown it's not shown on screen. Like all the stuff that happens is pretty much like off screen. And for that reason it's like a very like subtle approach to like how this all is affecting this woman. And I don't know, it was really great. I think it was like Elizabeth Olsen's like breakout role. So she did a really, really amazing job. And it all just like added to this big like paranoia aspect. And I also thought the cast was really interesting in general. Like I said, it's Elizabeth Olsen, Sarah Paulson. It has Christopher Abbott from Girls in it, even though he's like a pretty small role in it. And it also has one of the dudes from the Funny Games remake. That's not Michael Pitt. It was the other kid. All right, and the last movie I'm going to mention is 50 Shades of Grey. I got really, really drunk with my friends last weekend, and we were initially going to watch the new Slender Man documentary that's on HBO that I've been really, really wanting to see for months now. But then I was like, I'm way too not sober for this. And then we were going to watch that Olsen twin movie that I was talking about, Getting There. But then we were like, this is going to be too much. So I was like, I know, we should watch 50 Shades of Grey. And I had seen it before. And every time I've seen it, I've been like completely fucked up. But none of my, like I was with 3 of my friends and none of them had seen it. So they were like, oh fuck yeah, let's do this. And so we watched it and it's just so disgusting. It's just such a bad movie. It's like so horrible. Yeah, I have this like one scene that I always reenact every time I talk about it, but I'm not gonna do it today. But it's just so good. I'm like this. I think I wrote a review for it on Letterboxd, and I was like, this movie is so gross, and I can't wait to watch the new one.
Yeah, that trailer for the new one is fucking ridiculous.
It's so crazy,
I can't wait to see it.
I don't know. It's like Dakota Johnson. I don't know. Wow. I don't even know where to begin with, like, talking about how bad that movie is. And then it was, like, Jamie Dornan. I think his name is Christian Grey, and he's just like this like tiny like lizard boy who's like supposed to be like the epitome of like sexuality and like success and everything. And I'm just like, okay, like there's scenes where like they're showing how like fancy his hotel room is and stuff, and I'm like, wow, like wow, he's so rich. I'm so like turned on by how rich this guy is, and it's just like, ugh, like get over yourself.
Have you
Oh.
ever? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. There's also one part where, like, it's in the beginning, because she goes, the way that they, like, meet is she goes in to interview him, and it's supposed to be her roommate in the first place, but her roommate's sick and is like, can you go for me? And she's like, yeah. And so, and so she goes, and they have this, like, weird, like, interaction, and he gives her a pencil, and his name is engraved in the pencil. And I was like, wow. And
It's real cheap
And
to
then-
get your name engraved in pencil.
and then like it shows her like
You're so
biting on it
impressed.
and is like putting it like near like her mouth and everything, and I'm just like, this is so annoying to watch.
Have you seen it?
I've never seen it.
I would recommend it.
I'm definitely gonna watch the second one though, because that movie looks ridiculous.
I'm gonna wait for the trilogy and then just watch them all
It's
shirtless.
fun.
Did you ever
Alone.
see The Fall, or do you know what The Fall is?
No.
It's like a BBC series with fucking Dana Scully, Gillian Anderson. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
X-Files. Jamie Dornan is like a serial killer on that, and he's fucking so intense.
Is he really?
Yeah, it's like really creepy actually. That show's really good.
It's okay, so like
I know that it's like goofy for him to like be in that movie, but
So, like, okay, 50 Shades of Grey was written by this, like, person who based it off of Twilight. And,
fan fiction, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was, like, based off of Twilight fan fiction. And so 50 Shades of Grey was born. And, it's funny because a big thing about the Twilight series, which, like, I read all those books in middle school, and I remember, like, being excited for the movies, and then I saw the first movie, and I was like, whoa, this is fucking awful. But a big thing about it is that all the actors in it, by the end of the series, like, if you listen to their interviews, or, like, even the commentary that they have on the DVDs, they all just have this, like, blatant, just, like, distaste for the movie that they're all in, and they're all like self-loathing, like, yeah, like, this is really bad, this was like really not fun. And yeah, and it's kind of the same way with 50 Shades of Grey. Like, Dakota Johnson in an interview was like, I have brothers and my brothers have friends and I don't want them to see this. And Jamie Dornan's like, yeah, this is like not how a man should act, because like, I don't know. But hey, you know, nothing says romance like money and, like, an abusive relationship and, like, really bad dom play. But what do I know?
Wait till you get older. No.
Yeah, so I would recommend it. I guess that's what
Five stars.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's so gross, but, like, it's it's also 2 hours long, which is crazy to me.
Should have been longer.
Yeah, it should have been should be as long as the Nymphomaniac movies, in my opinion. My favorite scene, though, is like, no, I don't know if I should even get into it.
Do it.
Okay, alright, so my favorite scene of the movie is this part where, okay, so it's towards the beginning, and they have, like, hung out twice at this point, and the second time he was like, you should stay away from me. And she's like, what? And she's like, what? And so, and so, like, that same night, she, like, goes out with her friends and just gets, like, pissed drunk. And she's standing in line for the bathroom and she calls him. And she's, like, drunk and, like, not making sense, but, like, yelling at him. And he's just like, where are you? And then, like, 2 minutes later, he, like, shows up. And she, at that point, is, like, puking. And he, like, takes her back to his hotel room. And then she wakes up in his hotel room, has, like, no idea where the fuck she is, but there's, like, a plate of, like, toast and orange juice next to her. And this is the part where they're like showing how fancy the hotel room is, and everyone's like, wow, like this is so great. And then so she's
Everyone
like,
in the audience?
yeah, that's what you're supposed to be like. Yeah, no, everyone else in the hotel room, I mean.
Toast.
Yeah, and so like, wow, and like he knows how to like take care of her. And so
At least get her an English muffin or something.
I mean, whatever.
Substance.
So she like starts eating. She like starts eating, and he walks in the room. He from like outside. I guess he was out and he's coming back in the room, and they're just like talking. And she's like, "Did we fuck?" And he's like, "Nah, like necromancy isn't my thing." And then
necromancy is raising the dead.
Oh, necromancy is when you fuck dead people. Necrophilia. Oh.
I mean, not all necromancers are necrophiliacs. I would just like to
anyway,
clarify
necrophilia isn't my thing. And then, so they're talking, and then he's like, "You really shouldn't drink like that." And then at some point, he like takes off his shirt for some reason, and and she's just like, "Yeah, I don't know." And she like has the toast in her hand, and he like crawls over her and is like. He's like,
don't make eye contact.
That was really, I'm sorry. He was like, if you were mine, you wouldn't be able to walk for a week. And she's just like, what? And then the scene just like ends, and everyone in the audience is like, wow, that was so hot.
Sexy toast scene.
Yeah, this sexy toast scene. Anyway, he also like takes a bite out of her toast, which I'm like, rude.
Yeah,
like she's hungover and needs nourishment, but that's none of my business.
And it's just toast.
Well, he's only got the one piece. Toast. I guess.
But yeah, so anyway, it's so good.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. Anyway, well, I guess we can move on.
I don't know. I think we should just have a podcast of you just reenacting scenes from
just keep going.
50 Shades of Grey.
Okay, another thing in the movie, another thing that I really loved in the movie was that every time she would see him, like, there's one part where, like, he comes into her work and she's just, like, walking, and she, like, turns and sees him and just, like, jumps and, like, gasps really loudly, and she does it at least 5 times throughout the movie. Like, every time she sees him, she's like, and it's so funny. Oh man, I can't wait to see the second one. It comes out on the 10th, which is, I mean, by the time this episode is posted, it's going to be not the 10th. It's going to be like 2 weeks from now. So.
She'll have seen it twice.
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe 50 times?
50 shades of seeing it 50 times in the movie.
100 times.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to pay to see it in theaters. Maybe I'll just... I'll be like... Everyone knows this is trash. Just let me go in. But no, or I'll just like make someone bring me. That's like not my mother.
That'll show her.
Yeah.
Screw you, Mom.
Screw you, Mom. I'm gonna go see 50 Shades Darker.
Not with you.
My mom refuses, which is good. I'm glad.
That's not really the kind of mother-daughter movie.
I don't really understand. So it's 50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades Darker.
Well, like,
and then 50 Shades
Grey, or like I don't really.
Yeah,
understand.
I mean, isn't that black?
I know that Grey is like his last name.
Yeah.
But is it supposed
to
be?
No, wait. I'm sorry. Never mind.
That's a different movie.
Yeah, never mind.
Is it
Edit that out.
50 Shades of? I mean, is there another character name? Oh, I guess It's darker, not black. Okay, 50 Shades of. 50 Shades Darker is the name of the sequel, right? But is it like because he's darker? Is that what the thing is?
I don't
really
know
like, what the story of the books are.
I don't either.
Okay.
So I'm just in for
like,
the ride,
you
know, for the cinematic experience.
I didn't know if like the names of the movies were like, or books were like literal. Like it was like.
Oh no, I don't think so.
50 Shades of Grey is him, but then like there's an even darker side to him or something.
Somebody bought the trilogy for my fucking grandmother, and I don't know who it is, but I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna fight them to death. And anyway, it's called 50 Shades of Grey, and then 50 Shades Darker, and then I think it's the third one is 50 Shades Freed, which like I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what it means. But the trailer for the second one is crazy because he's like trying to. So the end of the first one, spoiler alert.
No! You're gonna ruin it.
The end of the first one, she's like, I never want to see you again, and then she like leaves. So the second one at least starts with him trying to get her back, and so he's like, I want you back, and he was like, let me take you to dinner, and she's like, fine, I'll go to dinner with you because I'm hungry. And I'm like, I just love the dialogue.
Yeah.
Ah, man, that's great. It's so good.
Yeah, it seems great.
Alright, so let's actually move on, though.
Okay.
I know a movie that we all watched this week.
What was it?
The Game.
Oh, that's right. I watched that.
Did you?
I did. It was my assignment for the week.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is my pick. David Fincher's The Game. David Fincher is like a master director in my mind. Literally had like maybe one misstep in his career. The guy's fucking awesome. The Game is about like an investment banker who is kind of like private and like a fucking asshole in public and to anyone around him, and he's just a guy like gets rich off of other people. Basically like his like tag along brother, like his whole like I guess his like lifelong like always like begging for money and needing something brother like gets him involved in this like sort of like new role-playing game where like everyone around you is, I don't really know how to explain it, like so everyone around him is on the game with him, but he doesn't know that, and you don't know who is and who isn't. Sort of like a new virtual reality, not virtual.
Yeah, it's a reality.
like a reality based game, basically.
I think everybody involved in this knew they, or like everybody that he talked to was in on it.
Definitely.
And I think there's a part later on where he goes to his wife or his ex-wife and he's like telling her things and he's like, you're the only one I can trust. But if you listen at the beginning, both when he's talking to his brother Conrad about his ex-wife, he's like, I always liked her. And when he says something to her about Conrad, she's like, I always liked him. And I think that right there is proof that they've known, like from the beginning, like everybody's in on it, everybody around him. Because even at the end when he's like, I need the keys to your car, she just hands them right over. They're like, I'm friendly with some of my exes, but you're not borrowing my car.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense because it is like a completely immersive thing and everyone around him has to like...
They have to be involved
basically.
in it. Yeah, like when the house is broken into and there's graffiti all over the place and the housekeeper's in the servants' quarters or whatever, and she comes out and she's like, I didn't know it. Like, you have to know that somebody is in that house painting all that throughout the whole house.
True.
So, yeah, everybody's involved.
Yeah. But yeah, this is all like this is like later all that we realize all this stuff. But
yeah.
Basically the plot is just like a guy not down on his luck.
Top of the world.
Yeah, he's like a guy who is like up in his like watchtower kind of guy, basically, like doesn't like to be fucked with. His brother buys him like his way into this like completely immersive game. And basically the movie just starts from there and it's like kind of weird from the beginning and then like gets even fucking weirder and like it's really like I don't know, I've never felt like I've never seen a movie that seems like it is a completely like it feels like it's just interesting to see that like it's like reality versus like a horror, like a horrible situation kind of like the movie, like it literally feels like he's like in like inside of a movie because like it's everybody around him trying to play it up so well, you know.
Right.
I don't know, it's kind of cool. Do you have any thoughts?
So I had not seen this movie before, which is crazy, and I've gotten a lot of looks from both of you because Fincher is my favorite director, and I talk about that very often. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to me that this is what came out between Seven and Fight Club. It came out in 1997, And I don't know. Like, it didn't hit me as much as I thought it would, like the way that David Fincher's other movies did. But it was, like, just super, like, Fincher-esque. Like, everything about it, I was like, yeah, this all makes a lot of sense. I mean, most of the stuff I have to say is honestly about the ending. I didn't really like the ending. I liked it all, but I didn't like the ending. I thought it was like a little bit of a, almost like, I don't want to say a cop out, but that's kind of what I mean. With like the whole thing being fake. I thought,
I mean, but
I kind of hoped it would be real and that something like super dark would happen. Because that just is what typically happens in a Fincher movie.
Yeah.
Like in Gone Girl, there's like no justice. In Seven, it's kind of like, oh, you know.
Yeah, you picked a
So
fight with the wrong motherfucker.
I thought something like that would happen, and like honestly, this may be like fucked up, but I was kind of hoping that like Michael Douglas's character would like die or like something like that.
Well, he jumps
metaphorically.
off a building.
Yeah,
He
so
does.
I was like, and I was like, good.
Well, it was
that
supposed
is-
to be
Yeah.
like, you know, because even at the end when the guy, the actor Jim Feingold, or the guy who was like who signed him up initially, and then he
Yeah,
goes
he
and
sees him on
kidnaps
TV.
him when he's at the zoo with his kids. He was at the end.
Oh,
He's
yeah, that
like,
scene is
if you
so
didn't
cool.
jump, I had to throw you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, yeah, that I mean, like I understand it compared to like other David Fincher things being like sort of, you know, but it's there. I mean, it's literally there in the title.
Yeah.
It's like you basically are gonna get like a 50-50 reveal. Like, is this serious or is it not?
Yeah.
And when he fucking shoots the gun and then he jumps off the roof, it's still like, holy shit, this was real. And then like, you know, when he lands on like the giant fucking thing, like right on cue, it's like, I don't know, like I understand, but I also feel like I don't know what else they could have done. Had he just like fallen off the building at the end, I would have been a little bummed out. Because they're not explaining anything then, or like there's no wrap up to the fact that all these people are actually in on this thing. I guess, like, ultimately it seems like the game is what's more important than the actual plot of the movie, even. It's, like, what these people are doing collectively to, like, someone else's mind.
Yeah.
It's, like, a little confusing. So, I definitely have a problem with the end, too, where, like, you know, it isn't very exciting, but I also don't know what other way I would have wanted it to end.
I don't know. Maybe it was just like the whole like celebration setting where all of a sudden everyone was like, yeah, like applauding and everything. I was just like get fucked. I don't know.
well, I mean, if you look at it, like metaphorically, he jumps off and dies. You know, that is his
like,
death.
end
His Nicholas Van Orton is dead.
Yeah.
And then he rises up as this is a new life. Even Conrad is like, you are becoming so much of an asshole, I had to do something.
Yeah.
And this is a way for him to be like, you need to be better to the people that are under you. You need to realize that there's, you know, life is precious and that there are people that care about you.
Yeah.
And they're all here to,
Shout out to
you know,
Seymour Butts.
Seymour Butts.
Sean Penn, what a fox.
Yeah.
That was literally one of my notes for today. That's all I wanted to say.
His dimples had dimples.
Oh, yeah.
Nicholas!
Connie.
Yeah, the fact that his name is Connie in the movie is so weird to me. It's
I love it.
One of my grandmother's names.
Really?
Oh, really? I
I
have an Uncle Conrad and
Well,
everybody
short-
calls him
short
Uncle
for-
Connie.
short for Constance. But
Yeah.
his is short for Conrad. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like you know, the movie's like super interesting. Like I'm trying to say, like the journey is more what it's about than like I guess the end goal. But you as a viewer still have to watch and accept how you feel about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I understand it being like lacking, but it's crazy like the story, the way the story goes, and how he is like perceived to just like lose everything when he's fucking like in Mexico. It's just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like literally just like everyone like hustling and bustling around him, and he's just like sitting there like with like a tissue in his hand, like a dirty ass face, and like a shitty fucking khaki suit. Like it's just like
When
they,
he
like,
walks
put him in his
into
place.
when he walks
The
into the
diner.
diner and is
Yeah.
like, I have $18
Yeah.
and some change.
Right.
Can someone please give me a ride? And everyone's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, it puts that character in like a reality that he like would have never had to deal with.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically,
And that's-
just keep going down like the whole being like a fucking like self-centered, get me rich kind of asshole. You know what I mean? Like,
I
you know,
like-
Although he
oh.
did care at when they took the money, he was like, when he was talking to, I believe it was Christine, in the car, he was like, "This isn't just mine. This is pension plans. This is salaries, retirements. This is $600 million."
Yeah, all of a sudden he like,
Yeah.
cares about other people, which I guess is maybe the
Well,
point
that's
of the
exactly,
movie.
yeah.
So when he like,
Well, I mean, there was also just, like, that's, like, an entire sense of stability. Like, even if he is an asshole, like, those are just responsibilities to him. And,
True.
like, he was
And then-
counting on that just being there because he made all that money and everything.
his stock goes down.
Yeah.
Because that's what he was concerned about with Anson Bear.
yeah,
With, he's like, my stock is going down. You've underperformed. Regardless of your past and what history our families have, you're done.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
this
Yeah.
reflects badly on me.
I liked Christine's character a lot. I feel like the way she was introduced and, like, her transition as you, like, learn more about her, I thought that was, like, pretty well done.
yeah, that scene where she like you're in like her house, you know?
Yeah.
Right, with no,
Yeah.
nothing in the
It's
fridge.
so weird. That scene is very much like reminds me of Seven, though. Like the way that house looks. And
Yeah.
the lighting and stuff is all.
There were a couple...
So Fincher.
Yeah, there were a couple. I think it was like mostly like any scenes in the elevators that reminded me a bit of Panic Room, but I think that might just be like lighting wise.
Yeah.
Visually.
No, I mean his lighting rings through like everything except for like Alien 3. Honestly, like
Yeah.
he's interesting.
Yeah, I love that man.
One thing that I was almost concerned about was when Nicholas Van Orton was taking the psych test and they were pulling up the cards and things like that, and he was just saying, he had to say one word. When the car drove off the cliff, that card came up. First thing I thought of was whoops, and then he said it, and I was like, oh shit. I may have some psychopathic tendencies.
Oh shit, he is me.
Well, except for the money and
Yeah.
stability and cool brother named Seymour Butts.
Yeah. Can we all agree that Sean Penn or Seymour Butts is cooler than all of us will ever be? I think he is.
We got potential.
Maybe.
The t-shirt,
Yes.
I was left for dead in Mexico
The
and all I
drug.
got was a stupid and all I got was a stupid t-shirt. I really want it.
Yeah, that was an elaborate prank for a joke t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I
that
wonder how
whole
much
thing.
it cost to make that t-shirt in the 90s.
Probably not that much. It was iron on like block
Oh, true.
letters.
All right, well, can one of you guys make me that t-shirt for my birthday?
When's your birthday?
April 14th. My birthday is April 14th. I'm gonna take that as a yes.
We both make you one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll have a contest. Who makes a better
Yeah.
shirt?
Um.
And we will take listener submissions too for t-shirts as well.
Yeah, make me a t-shirt. Yeah.
I don't need t-shirts.
Preferably, I mean, a tank top would be cool, but beggars can't be choosers.
Was that your stomach? One thing that I would like to talk about is just the insane amount of variables that could have happened in their potential with their planning and things like that, where I wonder how much stuff was in place where, like when he went to the house and there was nothing in the fridge or anything and he realized, oh, this is a
Part of the set.
fake house.
Yeah, yeah.
And he pulls her up about it, and she was immediately just like, they're going to hear you, stop.
Right.
And she's like, well, let's go somewhere else. And he just didn't,
Well, I mean, it has to be, the, realization must be that everything is in place to be, a dummy version of what is going on.
Right.
Every aspect of the movie is fake.
Yeah.
It has to be.
The thing is, though...
They literally
Yeah.
are shooting at the house with, giant guns. At
yeah,
one point.
machine guns.
Yeah, it's so there has to be some, that's not a scene you have in your movie when you also are like, well, but everything's fake. Or,
right.
everything
Well,
is
no, they
set up,
do explain that all the gunfire
Yeah.
was squibs, but... And I guess she was... If you look at it, knowing what you
June
know...
squids.
Yeah, not June squibs. But if you watch it knowing what you know a second time, which is what I did last night, you can see kind of how Christine leads him, and he's sort of railroaded into, like these situations where they're like, all right, you need to go this way. So they kind of like lead him around all these different places. And
Yeah, even from the beginning, she definitely did lead him.
yeah, so they have like all these trigger events, like that guy who falls down and just needs medical attention.
Right.
And, so the cops are like, you need to go in that ambulance. So
I feel like I should have watched
how
the movie
he's
twice.
like not gonna help.
yeah, and he's like, I don't even know this man.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you need to
That's
go
like the whole-
anyway.
Yeah, and the
point,
note that's like,
So-
don't let her get away.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are all these things that happen, that all these potential scripted things that even if something goes wrong, they have all these peripheral things that like, okay, well, you do this. And they use different people all the time,
Mhm.
but then at the end they start recycling them because he knows now. So
Right.
and that was cool. And you see everybody, even like the guy at the airport, who's you have ink on in your pocket,
Mhm.
which is the pen that they gave him.
Right.
Like there are reasons for each thing that they do with him, and he doesn't realize it. So, and they even said there was a safety net with the cab when he drove off the bridge. Like if he didn't have that crank with him,
Well, yeah,
probably
because
been
there's like a
screwed.
guy driving the cab, and then like the guy just jumps out
Mm.
and then runs away. So it's like, and like the scene where like after like they're all in the ambulance and they like get into the building,
Mm. And then the lights go out.
everyone fucking runs away. It's like just so fucking jarring and weird.
Yeah,
Because like then throughout the movie, like you sort of don't know if like everything is like what's real or not. But like you as a viewer are kind of more a step ahead, but it's also like what is like for real, like scenes when he's just getting shot at by like giant guns.
Mhm.
It's like is this real? Like I don't know. I almost just wonder like that is like why like there was never a sequel. Maybe it like had to do with like how well this did or something, but that universe is so like rich,
yeah,
and it could easily be like something different, but exist in that universe
Mhm.
still.
But also, Fincher doesn't really do sequels.
I mean,
like-
he signed on to do the fucking Girl with the Dragon tattoo trilogy.
He's not making the second one.
Well, now he's not.
Yeah, but like that's been a thing since after, because the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo didn't do as well in the box office as he thought. So like
Yeah.
he was like, never mind, pretty much, which like sucks ass because the second book is like the best one out of all of them, and I would have loved to see that as a movie.
Well, they exist.
Well, yeah, but like
Not by
with like
Fincher.
Rooney Mara and like a Fincher
Yeah,
look
yeah,
to
yeah.
it,
I got
because
you.
I was a big fan of that movie.
Yeah, I'd like to rewatch that movie.
It's really good. But yeah, anyway,
But yeah,
I just from what I've noticed about his career, he doesn't really do sequels.
Alien 3.
Yeah, but he like has disowned that movie. Let's be real.
So is there anybody would like to recast in the movie?
Think about that.
I didn't either,
I
really,
didn't
until
either.
I just looked at the list.
Leave Sean Penn alone.
All right, well, if Sean Penn stays, then Michael Douglas stays because he's perfect. I feel like in this.
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're a good foil for each other.
So that leaves Christine, or like I guess any of the other characters. Jim Feingold is like who I'm trying to think of.
Yeah,
Wait, who's the grandma we were talking about earlier?
June
Squibb.
Squibbs.
June Squibbs should play the maid.
That'd be tight.
Yeah.
I would like to see Jim Feingold replaced with Norm Macdonald. I think that would be pretty
Yeah.
pretty good, and it would give him a chance to do his serious chops. Although I don't think he could ever take Norm Macdonald serious.
Would anybody
But-
recast Christine or Elizabeth, do you guys think?
I think Christine handled it pretty well.
I like Christine.
I forget what her name is.
Deborah
Something
Unger?
Yeah, the ex-wife I think was so inconsequential to the storyline, really,
Yeah.
that I mean anybody could have played her.
That's
honestly.
true.
I mean, not saying that she didn't do a good job, but I think the character was so inconsequential to the storyline. Basically, she calls him on his birthday.
His wife.
Yeah,
That's-
lends
I'm
him
not
his
even thinking
car,
about
or
that.
lends him her car, and then shows up at the end. It
Yeah.
was like, hey, good job.
Jennifer Aniston.
As who?
Christine. I mean, height
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Friends.
She's probably, I mean, she's gorgeous now, but she probably looked really good back then, too.
She was on Friends.
Have you ever seen Leprechaun?
No?
That was like the 80s.
She was in Leprechaun.
This is 97.
I never
She
really,
was on Friends.
I
for,
wasn't
like,
into
4 years at
Friends.
this point.
I've never really been into Friends.
How old were you when that came out?
2 years old.
Well, that could be why.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to watch it. Like, when it got added on Netflix, everyone was like, oh my fucking god. And I, like, tried to watch it, and then I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna say I haven't watched my share of Friends. I'm not, I would have watched it when it was on. When I didn't really like follow the story. It wasn't anything.
I
I
just like love the theme
TiVo.
song.
My
Thank
mom.
you for being a friend.
My mom was obsessed with it, which might also be why I've been like really turned off to it for a while.
You should watch How I Met Your Mother. That's what you should do. That show's great, and it's like a more like modern day version of Friends.
Yeah.
So wait, Christine is Jennifer Aniston, or Jennifer Aniston is Christine.
Mm-hmm. And Norm Macdonald is as Jim Feingold.
And June Squibbs is the maid.
Success!
We did it! Yeah. That's the first time I ever successfully recasted someone so far, because you stole my thunder with the riff-raff in
I mean, that
Don't
was
Breathe.
the obvious.
That was really... I was so mad when you said it, though, because I really wanted to say it. But do either of you have anything else you want to say about the game?
I liked it. I thought it was good. I say that about all the movies that we review.
I think it's something that you gotta see, especially if you're a big Fincher fan. It took me a really long time to see this movie. So if you're a Fincher fan and you haven't seen it, then you should get on it.
Yeah, also I can't really think of like a movie that, like, it feels super unique, sort of. Like, I can't think of another movie like it. So yeah, go check that out.
Yeah, there is a little bit of suspension of disbelief, though, with like all the gunfire and... Like, there's no way that I don't know. I just think that was a little bit hokey with all the... Especially with that kind of firepower.
So.
But
other than that...
Yeah, I mean, I can live with the explanation. It's not like...
Yeah. Had it not been explained, I would have been like, fuck this movie.
Yeah.
Or at least, I think please cut that fucking scene out. Like,
Yeah, I think that's part of the thing that makes it good, is like, everything where I was like, that's bullshit. Like, at the end, they kind of explained away.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Alright, well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Filmspeak. If you like what you've been hearing, make sure you check us out on social media. We are on Instagram at Filmspeak, Twitter at FilmspeakPod. We have a Facebook page. We have a YouTube channel, both called Filmspeak Podcast. And we are on SoundCloud. And
if you would like to send us any sort of questions or comments or... T-shirts.
Feel free to interact with us on social media. We definitely want to hear some feedback from people. If there's something that you want us to talk about or whatever, just feel free to talk to us, because we will talk back.
All right. Well, thanks.
Thanks for listening. Hope you have a good day.
Come on, everybody. Good punch. All right, now. Good punch.
Bye.